Back in Oakland, just moments away from the Raiders and the Bears on a 65-degree afternoon. We check out early scores. Falcons over the Vikings by 10. Third win of the season for Carolina. Jets with a late touchdown. Cleveland and Cincinnati tied at 20 late. Tennessee by 6 over Tampa Bay as we head down to the field and Tony Siragusa. Goose.
Thanks, Kenny. Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Haney gets his first start today. Boy, and it brings back memories. I can remember my first start. I had butterflies, nervousness, and I was only a defensive lineman. I can only imagine what he must feel like as a quarterback. Listen, the biggest thing that the Raiders can do today is take away his security blanket, and that's the run game. If they get that done, that spotlight that's on Haney could quickly become the hot seat.
All right, Goose, there's Lovie Smith. His Bears have won 5 in a row. They've scored at least 30 points in 4 of the last 5 games. On the other side, Hugh Jackson, in his first season as Oakland Raiders head coach. Raiders have won their last 2, both on the road, over the Chargers and the Vikings. The Bears have won the toss and will receive. Sebastian Janikowski gets things started as the Raiders keep it out of the hands of Devin Hester. This is Johnny Knox on the return. And Knox takes it across the 30, finally knocked out of bounds. And there is a flag. Mike Mitchell made the tackle. 33-yard return by Knox. Ron Winter is our referee.
During the return, holding, number 20 receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Craig Stelz commits the penalty. A look at Caleb Haney in his 4th season out of Colorado State. He was not drafted, signed by the Bears as a free agent. Received his most extensive playing time in the NFC Championship game against the Packers last January.
That's the last time we saw Caleb Haney. He handled that stage very well. He said it's been a little bit different this week being the starter and going through the preparation. Some nerves, but they'll disappear after that first snap.
On first down, Matt Forte, the NFL's 4th leading rusher, is bottled up after a gain of just 1.
Well, this Bears offense, as Tony pointed out, has got to run the ball effectively to build the confidence for Caleb Haney. Matt Forte has been a little bit slow the last couple of weeks, not performing at the same level. These guys up front have got to clear some lanes in the running game. Then they can start taking advantage of play action.
Second down and 9 from the 19-yard line. Haney throws for the first time. And the catch is made by Roy Williams. Takes it out to the 23, gain of 5. Stanford Rout made the tackle.
This is a big physical group up front for the Oakland Raiders. And they've got to earn the right to rush the passer. They've got to stop this running game of the Chicago Bears. Put this Bears offense in the uncomfortable position of doing the drop back passing portion of the passing game. Not play action, but forcing them to drop back and throw.
Third down and 4 for Caleb Haney and the Bears. Haney out of the shotgun. Bears must get to the 28-yard line. Pass was deflected, intended for Earl Bennett. Tommy Kelly got a piece of it.
And Darryl, you said it, those big guys up front. 6'6", 6'4". Those guys got some reach up front. This is what he's going to have to deal with all day, is getting their hands up, tipping balls, and helping out that secondary. Give them an opportunity to maybe get some interceptions with a ball floating like that.
Adam Podlesh working with a new long snapper. Chris Massey replacing the injured Patrick Mattingly, who had played in 147 consecutive games for the Bears. Raiders without their top 2 punt returners today, so Brian McCann is back deep, and he calls for the fair catch at the 29-yard line. 47-yard punt by Podlesh as Carson Palmer gets ready to make his 4th start for the Oakland Raiders.
And really, Carson Palmer may be forced into the lineup earlier than anybody here wanted and struggled in that second half of the Kansas City game with the interceptions. Follow that up with 3 more interceptions the following week, but he's getting more and more comfortable. And it was interesting to hear his perspective when we talked to him. He said, listen, I'm learning the system by the game plan. I haven't really delved into the playbook and learned it top to bottom. I'm just taking what they're using from week to week.
Good news for the Raiders. Darius Hayward-Bay is in the starting lineup. Suffered a neck injury last week. Off the play fake on first down. Carson to Hayward-Bay out at the 48-yard line. A gain of 19.
Darius Hayward-Bay is going to have to step up today. And one of the things you do against Charles Tillman is you run crisp routes against this Bears defense. You can see that little soft area. Charles Tillman funnels them down inside. The safeties are going to be deep. They respect the speed that this Oakland Raider wide receiver group has.
Raiders without both Jacoby Ford and Denarius Moore today. On 1st and 10 from the 48, pass is caught by a wide open Brandon Myers, the third-year tight end out of Iowa, and Myers gains 25.
Didn't think we were going to see receivers wide open like this, Darryl.
No, release it from the tight end spot. There's 83, good clean release, right up the numbers. That little void in this defense the Bears run. They've got to challenge the release a little bit more. We've seen on the last two plays, both Darius Hayward-Bay and then on that one, Brandon Myers getting some clean releases off the line of scrimmage.
Completions of 19 and 25 yards on the first two plays from scrimmage for Carson Palmer and the Raiders. Palmer hands it off to Michael Bush, coming off his second consecutive 100-yard game, filling in for the injured Darren McFadden once again this afternoon.
Well, this Raiders offense still gelling as a unit. We're going to have some wide receivers out, so Lewis Murphy and Chaz Schillens get their starts today with Denarius Moore and Jacoby Ford out, but everything's going to lie on this offensive line. And then also Marcel Reese as the fullback. You know, they're going to run the ball effectively. Surprised to see them come out and be as aggressive the first couple snaps with the ball going downfield. They'll slide back into this very physical run game. It's one of the better ones in the league.
6 offensive linemen in for the Raiders. Stephon Heyer in as an extra blocker. Palmer on second down to the end zone through the hands of Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese is becoming one of my favorite fullbacks in the NFL because he is kind of changing what the position does. Look at Marcel Reese split outside. You get the one-on-one with a linebacker. They have confidence in getting matchups on the outside with Marcel Reese. He's not just a fullback that you line up in the backfield and pound at the defense. He has enough skill at that position to be able to move throughout the formation, become involved in the passing game, and then also run the football effectively.
3 wide receivers set. 3rd down and 4 for Carson Palmer and the Raiders. Palmer's pass to the near side intended for Hayward-Bay. So the Raiders will send out Sebastian Janikowski on the field goal unit.
But still a good opening drive by the Raiders. Surprised to see them come out, be aggressive with that downfield throw. And there's a little bit of that inconsistency, the stall in the drive once you get down near the red zone.
And able to run the ball, pass the ball. We didn't think we were going to see this against this Bears defense.
40-yard attempt. This is a chip shot for Janikowski from the left hash. Just inside the left upright. 3-0 Raiders.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
From Alcatraz back to Oakland. Raiders with a 3-0 lead. 6-play, 49-yard drive. A couple of long completions by Palmer and a 40-yard field goal by Janikowski. Again, this is Knox who takes it out of the end zone. Hester was back deep as well. And Knox brings it out to the 22-yard line. Darrell Blackstock made the tackle. Second drive coming up for Caleb Haney and the Bears. Chicago Bears start from their own 23-yard line. 2 tight ends set. Forte in the backfield. The handoff to Matt Forte. And he is wrapped up back at the 20-yard line by Aaron Curry. Loss of 3 on the play.
We talk about it every week, Darryl. The one thing that kills the run game is penetration. Watch this Raiders defensive line and linebackers. I mean, it looks like a strainer right there, like a strain of macaroni. Wide open. I mean, tackle for a loss.
Good timing by Aaron Curry on his blitz, Goose.
Yeah, Aaron Curry just found the lane, got right upfield. That's not what the Chicago Bears offensive line wants to see.
And Curry has found a home in Oakland, traded by Seattle last month. Roy Williams out to the 30-yard line, gain of 10. So the Bears and Haney now facing 3rd down and 3.
Well, I just like the approach that Caleb Haney has to this game. And there's Jay Cutler right there, who came out to be with his team here on the sideline to support. I think that's one of the things that he was criticized last year in that championship game, kind of distancing himself from Caleb Haney at the time. Wanted to be out here, wanted to show his support for this team. And I just like Caleb's approach. Listen, I'm not here to manage this game. I know I have to make plays. We have a lot of respect for this Raider defense. I can't just come in here and manage the game. We've got to get some plays down the field.
Haney on 3rd and 3, pass deflects off the hands of Johnny Knox.
And all you do is stay the course. You know, you understand you're on the road. You're in one of the more difficult places to play historically. They've struggled a little bit this season. Have some success early. They haven't had that on these 2 opening drives. And one of the things that everybody's talked about is special teams and defense helping out Caleb Haney and that offense. Right now, the Bears are not functioning as a team, having some breakdowns in some areas of strength.
2 Chicago possessions. Podlish out to punt for the 2nd time. Brian McCann, the deep man for the Raiders. McCann takes it from the 24. Down at the 25-yard line. Raiders lead 3-0. Carson Palmer and the Oakland offense in a moment.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Pizza Hut's new Big Dinner Box. Get all your favorites in one epic box. By Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. And by the all-new Volkswagen Passat, 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. 2nd possession for the Raiders, who lead 3-0. They start from their own 25-yard line. Off the fake toss to Bush, the inside handoff to Marcel Reese, who gains 3 up to the 28-yard line. Julius Peppers made the tackle.
We talked about Caleb Haney not being a concern this week. I think your biggest concern from Lovie Smith is the defense, and especially the defensive line. He and Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, called those guys out this week, was not happy the way they performed last week against San Diego. Only the 2nd time this season they've been held without a sack.
Talking about Anthony Adams also being down on defense for the Chicago Bears.
Adams deactivated today by the coaching staff. Matt Torina made the start, and he is in on the tackle of Bush.
Some discussion of whether they would blitz a little bit today, but I don't think Rod Marinelli really wants to do that. When you blitz a team that's very good at running the football, you create a seam, and all of a sudden you can give up some big runs. The thought process was just motivate that defensive line. It's always been a hallmark of this Bears defense, getting pressure with just the down 4, being very selective in how you pressure the quarterback with your linebackers.
And the coaches were all over that D-line throughout the week. 3rd down and 7. Raiders must get to the 35. Pass intended for Chaz Schillens. Corey Graham on the coverage. Henry Melton with the pressure of Palmer.
Well, there's a little bit of the blitz we're talking about. You're going to get that zone drop, so Henry Melton, your defensive lineman, drops right into that throwing lane. Just beyond the outstretched fingertips, a chance at an interception.
That was pretty good form, though, by Melton.
Shane Leckler back at his own 15-yard line. Devin Hester back deep for Chicago. Hester bothered by ankle and shin problems as of late. Penalty marker as Hester is down at the 26.
Devin Hester is a great returner, but he inspires every punt cover unit that he faces, and Oakland was really excited about this challenge. Some discussion all week long about what the plan was going to be. They'll directionally kick, but they're not going to kick it out of bounds, as you saw right there. On the first punt, the Raider cover team up to the challenge.
During the return, Holding. Number 35 return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Zachary Bowman, the guilty bear. 3-0 Oakland.
Carson Palmer with a nice cut on his finger, but it's his non-throwing hand. And I love the fact when quarterbacks get hurt, as long as it's that non-throwing hand, non-throwing elbow, non-throwing shoulder, it's like the injury doesn't exist.
Now Haney and the Bears back to work from the 16-yard line. The handoff to Forte, who gains a yard out to the 17. Coming into this game, Forte fourth in the league in rushing, first in total yards from scrimmage.
But as of late, not as productive. You can see right there on the graph over the last 4 games. And what's missing from Matt Forte are the 10-plus yard runs. And over the last 2 weeks, he's only had 3 of them. 2 against Detroit, 1 against San Diego. So they're not getting those big chunks of yards in the running game anymore.
Second down and 9, off the play fake. Haney can't find anyone downfield, and he picks up a first down with his legs out to the 34-yard line. And a flag is thrown at the end of the 17-yard run.
Darryl, one thing Haney has to learn is how to slide.
Absolutely.
Play. He does not want to get hurt. I'm sure that the Chicago Bears are going to talk to him about that.
After the runner was down. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 44. Offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
When you've got a young quarterback making his first start, what you want to do is everybody else around help him out. Tyler Klutz right here has to be smart. Caleb Haney makes a good, quick decision, gets you the first down. We've seen it, with special teams, a couple penalties on the returns already. They're not running the ball as effectively as we're used to seeing the Bears run. And right there, Tyler Klutz with a bad decision right there to cost them yardage. So the people that need to be supporting Caleb Haney right now, not holding up their end of the bargain.
Direct down, third Chicago penalty, and now more flags.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's left tackle Jamarcus Webb coming into this game. Raiders lead the league in penalties, but so far today, Oakland has not been flagged. Bears have committed 4.
Well, Hugh Jackson talked about it this week. He doesn't want to make it an excuse, but he felt last week against Minnesota, his big issue was the officials weren't coming over and explaining things to him when he was requesting it. He knows his team gets targeted. Historically, the Oakland Raiders have been one of the most penalized teams, if not the most penalized team, several times.
Play clock at 1. Bears get the snap away. Play action. Haney moving to his right. And then he is picked off. Intercepted at the 32-yard line. Down at the bottom of the pile, it is Stanford Routt who comes up with his 3rd pick of the season.
One of the decisions that Caleb Haney can't make on this play right here. You're going to get pressure. You're going to get flushed to the outside. There's nothing wrong with throwing it away right now, lining up and punting the football. He's going to try and fit this to Matt Forte. You can see 22 right there, getting behind the coverage. Too much risk, not enough reward on that decision by Caleb Haney.
These are the mistakes that you get from a young quarterback. And a defense bringing pressure forces him into those mistakes.
Only the 13th turnover committed by Chicago in 11 games this season, setting up terrific field position for the Raiders from the Bears 31. Palmer on first down, complete to Hayward Bay. Hard man to bring down, finally tackled at the 23 after a gain of 8.
He took a hard hit at the end of that. I did not see who. I think it was Chris Conti, the safety, coming in.
I think it was Lance Briggs.
Was it Lance?
Yeah, Lance made it all the way over there. Wasn't out of bounds. It was a clean hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lance Briggs. See them guys working on trying to get that ball out. They want a turnover right now, this Bears defense.
Second down and 3, Michael Bush. And Bush picks up a first down inside the Bears 21-yard line. 6 minutes to go, first quarter. Raiders leading by 3.
Well, Michael Bush has done a great job filling in for Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden, an explosive runner. Michael Bush, a little bit different in style, downhill, but you can see that great yards per carry at almost 5 yards. So a big physical downhill runner, but still averaging almost 5 yards per carry.
McFadden missing his 4th consecutive game due to the foot injury. They haven't missed a beat with Bush. Here's Bush on the toss. Tackled after a gain of just 1 by Urlacher at the Bears 19.
It's going to be a fun game to watch today because you've got 2 offenses that run the ball well and 2 very physical defenses. This is a little bit old school in the approach to this game. Darren McFadden on the sideline. And again, we talked about the injuries and this offense really not having the opportunity to gel, but guys have stepped up and made plays.
2 tight ends in the game for Oakland. 2nd down and 9. Palmer with time. He fires. Pass intended for the tight end, Kevin Boss. Major right on the coverage. Nearly came up with the interception.
Kevin Boss, the old former New York Giant, one of the guys you have to account for in the red zone. There goes the cover 2, so your safeties are splitting, trying to get that tight end into the middle of the field where that soft spot is. But one of the biggest challenges and why this defense has been so good is Brian Urlacher roams that middle of the field, and he is athletic. He's got a long wingspan. You have to elevate that ball over Brian Urlacher, and a lot of times it impacts that throw.
Now 3rd down and 9, empty backfield. Bush split out to the left. Palmer chased by Peppers, taken down by Peppers, back at the 29-yard line.
He's relentless, Darryl. That's a guy you're always going to have to account for. Julius Peppers there on the right side of your screen. He comes, fakes it inside, and then that long reach.
Jared Veldheer was never able to get squared up on him, getting that soft corner, and then as Carson Palmer had to scramble out, moved right into Julius Peppers.
He picks up his 7th sack of the season, now a 47-yard attempt for Janikowski from the left hash. He hit from 40 yards out earlier. Janikowski's kick, just like the first one, just inside the left upright. So the Raiders capitalize on the takeaway, now lead 6-0. Here's Jay Cutler, underwent surgery on his thumb this week. Lovie Smith told us last night he hopes to have Cutler back in the regular season.
Got some discussion that he could be back week 17 for the Bears finale. Was having a great season. Really was making it difficult on defense as you stack that box to stop Matt Forte, and Jay was throwing the ball very, very effectively. Really grown in this 2nd year in Mike Martz's offense.
Hester scoops it up. And Hester is tackled shy of the 20. This time no flags. Bears committed 2 penalties on special teams earlier. Now some extracurricular activity as we check out the Bears' first 3 possessions today. 2 3-and-outs and a turnover. Still no first downs for Chicago.
But I think one of the big things that you pointed out, Kenny, is the fact that they've had penalties on special teams. A kickoff and a punt has forced them back deep into their end of the field. So, again, you've got a young quarterback making his first NFL start. Everybody wants to kind of lessen the load by doing their part. And some of the areas of strength for the Chicago Bears right now not functioning as we normally see them do.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. The slant a bit behind the intended receiver, the rookie out of Ohio State, named Sanzenbacher.
I don't know about you, Darryl. I'm really surprised that this offense is passing as much as it is. I thought that they would come out, try to establish that run a little bit more, get Caleb a little bit of confidence back there, let him get the rhythm of the game, and really surprised they're throwing like this.
But they've come out and they've tried to run, and right now Oakland's defense is doing a good job of shutting down that run. So those are safe passes, Tony. The quick slants on the outside. I would like to see some screens and some other safe passes right now.
Off the pump fake on 2nd and 10, the handoff to Forte, and he picks up a first down and more. Matt Forte across midfield, and finally wrapped up, driven out of bounds by Michael Huff after a gain of 33.
Matt Forte is a big physical runner, but he's got great feet. I want you to watch this real subtle move on this run. Gets to the outside wash right here, just a little bit inside out, turns around Stanford route, and that gives him the opportunity to get up inside. Great job by Johnny Knox on the outside. When you're not having long runs in your running game, your wide receivers aren't blocking as effectively as they have been. Johnny Knox was the reason that Matt Forte had that long run.
More yards for Forte on that run than on the Bears' first 10 plays combined. Now Haney moving to his right. Can't find anyone. Gains a couple before stepping out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
But learn from your mistakes earlier in the game. You know, you get outside. If there's nobody there, you've got two choices. You're outside the pocket. You can throw it away beyond the line of scrimmage as an incomplete without risking an intentional grounding. Or if there's some room out there, tuck that ball down and try and get some positive yards.
Two tight ends set, second down and 9. Haney sets up the screen to Forte. And Matt Forte did a terrific job maintaining his balance. Picks up another Bears first down as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
How about Vince Young getting it done for the Eagles against New England? This time he hooks up 58 yards with Riley Cooper, who gets stopped down inside the 5. That's okay. LaShawn McCoy takes it in for a 2-yard score. 10-0 right now. Philadelphia on top of the Patriots. Kenny moves some goods.
Thanks, Kurt. Good start for the Eagles coming off their win over the New York Giants with Vince Young at the helm. Marion Barber in the backfield for the first time. Takes the handoff from Haney on 1st and 10 from the 38. And the longtime Dallas Cowboy gains 3 down to the Oakland 35-yard line.
And a good changeup for Matt Forte, and it'll be important for the Raider defense to recognize who's in the backfield. Is it 22? Is it 24? You're going to get some different style running plays, and then you're also going to get a different style. Marion Barber is more downhill. He's going to take you on. He's not going to have those shifty moves like we saw from Matt Forte, number 22, on that long run and then that nice screen.
Barber remains in the game. Second down and 7. Roy Williams in motion. From the 35. Haney again moving to his right. And he was forced out of bounds by Rolando McClain.
Made that decision a little bit too late, though, Kenny. Are they calling him out of bounds?
He was out of bounds, so McClain credited with the sack.
Right now, Caleb Haney just throw it away right now.
Ball was spotted back at the 43, although it looked like Haney threw that pass while still in bounds.
Yeah, I mean, you're right here. You're talking about a 3rd and 10 plus now because of that. It's not a reviewable play.
Loss of 8 on the play. Bears empty the backfield, 3rd down and 15 as Haney is picked off for the second time. It is Michael Huff. And Huff takes it all the way back to the 43-yard line. His second interception of the season. Second pick thrown by Haney in this first quarter.
Trying to work the middle of the field with one of the big tight ends. Here's Michael Huff here playing center field. It's actually Matt Forte trying to get Matt Forte down the middle of the field. Rolando McClain with coverage underneath, and then Matt Forte over the top. That's a tough spot to try and fit that in.
Unless you watched the Dallas Mavericks back in the 90s.
You caught that little 40 slip.
Now from the 43, here's Bush, who gains a couple following the second Chicago Bears turnover. Cutler talking about it with Haney. Cutler did a terrific job as far as turnovers are concerned, threw only 7 interceptions in 10 games this season.
You know, his completion percentage is down a little bit, but I think it's because of his decision making. He's making good decisions, willing to throw the ball away, not trying to force it.
Palmer on 2nd and 8, complete to Reese. He's knocked out of bounds by Nick Roach after a gain of just 2.
And Bears only rushing 4 defensive linemen, getting some pressure up there on Carson Palmer, making him throw the ball before he wants to get rid of it.
That'll be the key today, Tony. If they can continue to do that throughout the game, if they can get it with just the 4 exactly and not have to add 5 and 6 to that equation.
3rd down and 6. Palmer steps up and throws. And it looks like Kevin Boss picked up a first down as time winds down in this opening quarter here in Oakland. It is a Raider first down. So the teams will change sides. Raiders lead 6-0 after 1. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Carson Palmer has said the running game has been his best friend as the quarterback for the Raiders, and the reason why it's so successful is that group right there. One of the more underrated offensive line groups in the NFL. No high-profile names, just a bunch of lunchbox-type guys. They just put their hand down and come after you all day.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. First play of the second quarter. And Palmer is sacked for the second time. Amobi Okoye with his 4th sack this season.
I jinxed him, Goose. Amobi Okoye working from the outside right here. You're going to turn your protection. Stefan Heyer looks like he got a little bit confused on the outside. Didn't know whether he had help from Marcel Reese or not, and he just split the 2 tackles there on that outside.
Looked like almost they tried to make it like a play action, pulling Wisniewski from the left out to the right-hand side, and just couldn't recover with that big of a gap in the middle.
Loss of 9, Goose. Now 2nd and 19 as Palmer goes deep. Charles Tillman on the coverage pass intended for Louis Murphy.
Charles Tillman does a great job in coverage with his body, Darryl. Gets in front of the runner.
Eyes on the quarterback right there.
Eyes back. Reminds me a lot of coach on the other side of the ball there. Rod Woodson used to do a lot of that.
Rod Woodson coaches the Raiders cornerbacks.
Charles Tillman up and down the last couple of weeks, played real well against Kelvin Johnson in Detroit, but Vincent Jackson had a nice afternoon against him last week.
3rd down and 19. Palmer under pressure once again, moves to his right, now throws complete to Bush, and he's out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Well, the message has been received by this Bears defensive line. Julius Pepper is working against Jared Veldheer, who had a nice afternoon last week against Jared Allen. A good job right there. He was flushed from the inside on that last play.
Devin Hester, number 23, deep for Chicago.
But this is going to be one of the more enjoyable matchups to watch. Shane Lechler, the best punter in the NFL, against Devin Hester, the best returner. And you know nobody wants to back down.
Hester with an NFL record 12 career punt return touchdowns. Angled away from Hester by Lechler. What a punt. Out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. By Citizen Echo Drive, fueled by light it never needs a battery, unstoppable. And by Verizon, your holiday tablet destination.
Back in Oakland, 5th possession for the Bears. They have started across the 20 only once following the punt by Lechler. Caleb Haney and the Bears start from their own 3-yard line. Coming out of the end zone, Matt Forte out to the 7, a gain of 4. Caleb Haney so far in his first NFL start, 3 for 8, and he's been picked off twice, so he's completed only one more pass to his teammates than he has to the Raiders.
But look at the field position that he's had to work with. I mean, inside his own 20, the Raiders at their own 41. But it's still, it's a 6-0 game right now, Kenny. You're one play away from taking the lead.
3 wide receivers set, 2nd down and 6 off the pump fake. It's Forte, and it did not fool Rolando McClain and the Raider defense.
Man, Rolando McClain right away identifies it's going to be a draw. Caleb really doesn't do a great job of, acting like it's going to be a pass. He gives a little short pump, and McLean just came. That Bears defense, they identify things and they run. They got speed, they tackle well in the open field, and a solid group.
Play clock at 1, and Haney forced to use a timeout. When we come back, 3rd down and 6 for Haney and the Bears. Early second quarter in Oakland, Raiders leading 6-0. Haney forced to call a timeout with the play clock winding down. There's Jay Cutler on the sidelines. Bears facing a 3rd down and 6.
Still looks like he's struggling with the communication from the sideline. He's down in the loudest part of the field, right out in front of the black hole.
Three wide receivers. 3rd down and 6 for the Bears. Haney from the end zone throws it away.
Caleb Haney had nowhere to go with this one. You're going to watch the coverage. Here's the opposite side. Earl Bennett on the in and out. Good coverage on Johnny Knox coming on the in. Here's Roy Williams on the opposite side. Good coverage there, 2-on-1. As Caleb Haney scrambles to his right, he's got nobody there. Everybody was moving to his left.
So Adam Podlish back in the end zone. TJ Houshmandzadeh back deep for the Raiders, has not returned a punt since the 2008 season. And will not return this one. Fair catch called for by Houshmandzadeh at midfield. So terrific field position for the Raiders.
Winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
We talked about field position. Raiders take over at midfield following the punt. 6 offensive linemen in for Oakland. The handoff to Bush. And Bush gains 3 down to the 47-yard line. Darryl, the Raiders have scored 115 points in the second quarter, most in the league. Nearly half the points scored by Oakland this season.
It takes them a little bit of time, Darryl.
Well, and the bad news for Chicago is usually they're efficient like that in the first quarter, having outscored their opponents 43-5, 43-11 now. So as tough as that first quarter was for Chicago, could get worse here in the second.
On 2nd and 7, here's Bush. Runs right into the arms of Lance Briggs.
If this defense is really based on what Brian Urlacher says, and that's not stopping the offense, it's actually taking the ball away, they've got to do something to generate a turnover. It's been one of the hallmarks of this defense under Lovie Smith. They preach turnovers. They're very, very good at it. They're going to have to step up and make a play, because if they can't, Shane Lechler is going to continue to turn over field position. He's going to force Caleb Haney, deep into his end of the field for every start of their drives.
Palmer on 3rd down and 7. Complete to Murphy, and he will be stopped about a yard shy of the 1st down marker. Good job by the swarming Bears defense. Murphy down at the 41.
I can't believe that they're a single blocking Julius Peppers here on the outside. I mean, he just keeps getting closer and closer to Palmer there. Look at that club, huh, Darryl? Wow. That's a guy you want to have 2 guys on.
Raiders leaving their offense on the field. 4th down and 1 from the Bears 41.
Well, we talked about tipping field position. Here's a great opportunity for this Bears defense to do just that.
And with the play clock winding down, Raiders will use a timeout. Early second quarter here in Oakland. Raiders by 6. 4th down and 1. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a quarterback sneak here. Carson Palmer, big guy.
Use the difficulty in spotting that ball. That always goes to the offensive advantage.
Wow.
Instead, it's Bush on the handoff from Palmer. And Bush takes it inside the 40 for a Raiders first down.
Good finish by Michael Bush right there because they got penetration, got him forced to the outside.
They had goal line in there, two big guys up in the middle. Good thing they didn't run that quarterback sneak. You're right, Darrell. Bush, good thing he went and fell forward. He just got over the line.
So a new set of downs for the Raiders. You go for it on 4th and 1. Instead of attempting a 59-yard field goal, which Janikowski can make, and Palmer is sacked for the 3rd time in this first half. Loss of 8. Charles Tillman along with Julius Peppers.
Great anticipation by defensive coordinator Rod Marinelli in this situation. Blitz and pressure from Julius Peppers right here. Inside move, outside pressure, and they meet at Carson Palmer. But the anticipation of knowing that they're going to take a shot after that big 4th down play. Good feel by Rod Marinelli.
Bears came into this game with only 18 sacks. They have 3 so far today. Second down at 18. Palmer's pass is nearly intercepted, intended for Louis Murphy. Tim Jennings got a piece of it.
This is great coverage by Tim Jennings, just understanding what's going on. Watch him jump to the inside on Louis Murphy, and he runs the route for him. Carson Palmer, very lucky right there. Should not have made that throw.
Through the hands of Jennings.
Tim Jennings should have made that catch. That ball hit him right in the chest.
It's a timing route, but Louis Murphy never had a chance to get inside. He's got to compete a lot more. I think that's why Carson was upset at the end of that play.
3 wide receivers set. 3rd down and 18. More pressure on Palmer. There is a penalty marker down as the pass is deflected and then picked off by Corey Graham. Penalty flag back at midfield. If it's against the Raiders, it will be the 3rd consecutive game with an interception for Graham.
Illegal formation. Offense, wide receiver covered the tight end. Our penalties decline. First down, Chicago.
So Palmer nearly picked off on the last play. This time it's Graham, his 3rd pick of the season.
And he's, like you said, Kenny, he has been on a roll. And again, it's hustle to the football. Carson Palmer gets flushed from the pocket, thrown down the field, turn and run. One of the things that Tony always said, about a defense, if you're a great defense, you've got everybody hustling to the ball.
Darrell, this is the best starting field position for the Bears. It's their 6th possession. They start from their own 26, and a handoff to Marion Barber. And Barber picks up a first down out to the 41, a gain of 15.
There's that inside running you talked about, Darrell.
Yeah, you know what, Tony? Now they're starting to feed off the dynamic of the team. The way this game started, they were not in sync at all. Offense, defense, and special teams. Now watch out. Here comes the Bears functioning in those 3 phases. Defense generates a turnover. Marion Barber, there's nothing like a tough physical run to get your sideline excited.
Barber remains in the backfield from the 41-yard line. It's Barber up the middle again. And he gains 4 out to the 45-yard line. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Well, Kenny is not exactly drawing it up in the dirt, but quarterback Tom Brady knows this offense. Points Deion Branch, tells him where to go. Branch follows, and it turns into a 63-yard play. Down to the 1-yard line. Next play, Ben-Jarvis Green-Ellis scored his 2nd touchdown of the day. And New England once down 10-0, now has a 14-10 lead early in the 2nd quarter over Philly. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Patriots at 7-3. Jets beat the Bills on a late touchdown today. 4 touchdown passes for Mark Sanchez as Barber continues to run hard. Picks up another Bears first down in Raiders territory.
We paid off that Oakland Raider offensive line earlier in the game, and we can't undersell this Bears group either. It's a group that's had a lot of change throughout the course of the season early on, got it stabilized. Now they had some change again. They've got Edwin Williams in at left guard because Chris Williams went out for the season. But again, it's all based on running the football. This offense functions its best, so it puts a lot of pressure on those 5 guys up front.
Forte back in the game. Off the fake end around to Williams. Haney looking to set up the screen to Forte, but it did not fool Aaron Curry. Loss of 3 on the play.
Chicago did a lot on this play. They pull both of their guards to the left-hand side. They almost run like a fake reverse. Watch it right here. Pulling both guards. Okay.
Now second down and 13 from midfield. And Haney's pass incomplete. He was looking for Johnny Knox.
Tell you what, Darryl, Haney's not putting the ball in a bad spot for these receivers to catch it. They're just not holding on.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here to Johnny. Oh, there you go. He has a little slip right there. That right foot slides out.
Remember, he slipped last week, and on that play, Cutler was intercepted and wound up breaking his thumb on the tackle.
Got to get your weight over your toes when you're cutting. You want to get those sharp breaks to get separation. You got to have your weight over your toes. You can't have your weight back. Those feet are going to slip out.
Now third down and 13. Bears have not converted a third down play today. Play clock at 1. And it did not look like the Bears got the snap off in time.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
It's something else right there that's not working in Caleb Haney's favor. They have called timeouts as the clock has run down. They've been flirting with the play clock all afternoon.
Yeah, you're in a big enough hole, 3rd and 13. All of a sudden, now you get that 5-yard penalty. Can't force anything right here. If you don't have it, get it out of bounds. Punt the ball.
4 wide receivers, third down and 18. Haney steps up, and now he takes off. Needs to get to the 37-yard line, and he does. On 3rd and 18, Haney picks up a first down as he runs for 24.
This was an issue last week against Minnesota. Christian Ponder ran for over 70 yards on scrambles against this defense. Again, we've had a couple of big runs by Caleb Haney right here. Great quick decision right there. You have your patience, you slide through the pocket, you step up, everybody's gone and you're down the field. And right now we've got a Raider down back near where that quarterback pocket was.
That's Tommy Kelly. Back in a moment. Tommy Kelly shaken up on the last play, the 24-yard run for a first down by Haney.
They had to see something on the film last week with the coverages that Oakland plays in certain situations. Those back to the ball coverages, you're playing man-to-man, everybody's downfield, you've got your back to the quarterback. Caleb Haney just stepped up in the pocket. As soon as he recognized this, tucked the ball, got enough yards for that first down.
Now Haney hands it off to Marion Barber. Gains a yard down to the 30.
Marion Barber snapped up at the line of scrimmage, hit by number 43, Tyvon Branch, number 51, Aaron Curry. Gain a yard, 2nd and 9 from the 30.
8th play of the drive coming up for the Bears. 2nd down and 9 from the Raiders' 30. Barber looks to cut to the outside and leans forward to the 29, gain of just 1. Lamar Houston made the tackle, so 3rd down and 8 upcoming for Chicago.
Oakland's defense is doing a good job right now, setting the edge with their defensive ends and funneling everything back into the middle of the field. They're not allowing Chicago to get out on the perimeter.
Third down and 8. Bears must get to the 21 for a first down. 4 wide receivers set. Haney from the shotgun. Quick release, and the catch is made by Johnny Knox, and he takes it in for a Bears touchdown.
Nice job by Caleb Haney, seeing this blitz cover, knowing where that ball needs to go to. He understands he's going to have that whole middle of the field open. Pressure's going to come here for Matt Giordano. He's going to work right into that area. Johnny Knox gets separation right away.
29 yards from Haney to Knox, and for Caleb Haney, it's his first regular season touchdown pass. Threw one in the NFC Championship game to Earl Bennett. Last NFL quarterback to throw a touchdown in the postseason before throwing one in the regular season, Gary Hogeboom back in 1983. So Haney to Knox, and then Robbie Gould with the extra point. And the Bears take the 7-6 lead as they drive 74 yards following the Corey Graham interception.
We talked about the skill set that Caleb Haney has. Quick decisions, accuracy with the throw, all evident right there. Caleb Haney does a good job getting it out in front of Johnny Knox, allowing him to catch and run for the touchdown.
The key play during that drive, that 24-yard run by Haney on 3rd down and 18.
And don't forget that drive all started with the interception by Corey Graham. The Raiders had done a great job up until that point of controlling field position, putting Caleb Haney deep in his own end to start every drive. Corey Graham gets the interception. They get their best starting field position of the afternoon.
Raiders scored only 3 points following the 2 Bears turnovers. Raiders turned the ball over for the first time. And 4-yard drive. Johnny Knox for the touchdown in back-to-back games for Chicago. Ryan McCann back deep. Raiders without the 3 kick returners they list on their depth chart. Kobe Ford, Taiwan Jones, and Arius Moore all out today. And McCann will not have an opportunity, so the Raiders will start. Games beginning on Friday with UCLA and number 10 Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, followed on Saturday by number 16 Wisconsin taking on 14th ranked Michigan State in the Big Ten championship. 2 epic title games on back-to-back nights, both beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox Sports. Worst starting field position of the day for the Raiders as Palmer hits Marcel Reese out of the backfield, and Reese picks up a first down and more down the sidelines, and he is finally knocked out of bounds by Major Wright after a gain of 47 yards on the catch and run.
I have a lot of people ask me what has happened to the fullback position in the NFL, and it's become very one-dimensional. Marcel Reese is a player who's bringing back multi-dimensional capabilities to the position. He's a good run blocker, but look at this, in the screen element right there. He's going to show you some good vision down the field, some breakaway speed for the big guy.
Great job by him also with his offensive lineman downfield, knowing how to read off their blocks. Fullback with speed, down, something you don't see very often.
And now taking it down to the 26-yard line is Darius Heyward-Bey. What are you trying to say, Goose?
No. Just, you know, I'm really impressed. Like Darryl said, Reese has really impressed me. And, you know, those fullbacks, usually they're just guys, you know, meatheads that are just going to go and bang in.
We prefer cement head.
Yeah, cement heads. You know, you get a fullback that can go and catch the ball and run like that. I'll tell you what, that's the guy you want to get the ball in his hands.
Now it's 2nd and 3, it's Bush. And Bush taken down inside the 25-yard line, so 3rd and short coming up for the Raiders. 3.5 remaining in this second quarter. Bears leading by a point.
Again, another big play against this Bears defense, and that's probably, you know, been their Achilles heel, you know, throughout Lovie Smith's era as head coach of the Chicago Bears, especially with Brian Urlacher in there. You don't see the big plays, and that was just a simple screenplay right there, drawn up well, executed well by the Raiders, but you normally don't see as many big plays against this Bear defense.
Now on 3rd and 1, Palmer looking for Schillens. Tim Jennings on the coverage.
Tim Jennings is having a nice afternoon today. He's running the routes for these receivers for the Oakland Raiders. Eyes into the backfield, watching the quarterback, sees everything. I mean, he's played a couple of routes as well as you can play him this afternoon.
So now Sebastian Janikowski, who was hit from 40 and 47 yards out today, will attempt a 42-yard field goal from the right hash. Leckler places it down. Janikowski is 3 for 3. So the Raiders regain the lead, thanks in large part to that 47-yard catch and run by the fullback, Marcel Reese. It's down 9-7 Oakland. Well, since 2007, NFL plays 60. Visit NFLrush.com/bus to find out more. The Raiders Play 60 ambassadors are here today. Students from East Oakland Sports Center and the Department of Parks and Recreation.
And we saw a group yesterday, actually. We're coming back from the Raider facility over in Alameda, and we saw a group of boys out playing flag football. And you know, to be honest, I can't remember the last time I've seen that. So, you know, hats off to the NFL for the Play 60 program. Get these kids outside, get them playing again, get them moving.
I totally agree, Darryl. Get out there, get on the field. Enough of these play dates. Let's get all the guys together. We'll play a little football, have a little fun out of the beautiful weather.
So much better than making the touchdown catch than doing it with a joystick in your hand on a video game.
Yeah.
And the kids await their turn. From the 9-yard line. Johnny Knox, who scored the Bears touchdown moments ago. Knox takes it all the way down inside the Oakland 35-yard line. It will be marked at the 31, a 59-yard return by Knox, his longest of the season.
Let's see if people get out of their lanes. This is going to go down. It's going to be bobbled by Johnny Knox. The most important thing on a coverage unit is to stay in your lanes. And we got everybody converging on the ball right there. We had guys from the right side of the field going all the way to the left side. So probably a directional kick that Sebastian Janikowski mishit. He's been struggling with a hamstring. Looked like he pulled up a little bit after that kick as well.
I did talk to him before the game. He was having a little, hamstring pull that he's been dealing with. I wonder if he irritated that at all.
Ball has been respotted, guys, back at the 35-yard line. The Bears, who trail by 2. Haney pulls it in, looks to run. This time nothing. Cameron Wimbley was there to make the tackle. Haney with that 24-yard run earlier has 42 yards on the ground today, most by a Bears quarterback, guys, since Cordell Stewart back in 2003.
And the Raiders have to be careful. They do play some man-to-man coverage, and you get everybody with their back and running down the field right there. The inside tackles did a good job. They didn't get upfield beyond the quarterback. Kind of stayed in front of him. Once he decided to kind of pull that ball down and scramble, they had the opportunity to make the tackle.
So Caleb Haney will head over for a chat with Jay Cutler as we approach the 2-minute warning here in Oakland, with the Raiders leading the Chicago Bears by the score of 9-7. Raiders lead the Bears 9-7. Caleb Haney making his first meaningful start since just over 4 years ago. His last collegiate start against Wyoming did start a preseason game earlier this year against Cleveland. Haney hands it off to Forte, and Forte takes it down to the 32-yard line. So 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Bears, who trail by 2.
They must be getting a good read inside on that play. That was the one that Matt Forte hit for the big run earlier. Tony, you talked about Rolando McClain really getting a jump on that. The guards are showing that. They've got to set pass a little bit longer to sell that.
Yeah, Aaron Curry, man, I'll tell you what, he's been all over the field today. Running Rolando, he's playing as good as I've seen.
3rd down and 7. Bears must get to the 25 for a first down. Haney throws, and it's caught for a first down by the tight end, Kellen Davis. His first reception today. Gain of 16 down to the Oakland 16-yard line.
And we've been waiting for these group of tight ends to have some plays all season long for the Bears. I mean, you look at Kellen Davis and Matt Spate, they're just big physical specimens. The hard part is once they catch the ball is getting them to the ground.
Bears have 2 timeouts remaining. First and 10 from the Oakland 16. Haney with time underneath to Forte. Gain of 5 down to the 11. McLean made the tackle. And the Bears will use their second timeout.
You got to give Caleb Haney credit for hanging in there in his first NFL start. A bad decision early in the game with the interception there. And then trying to fit one in to Matt Forte. Has his second interception. Battled tough field position all afternoon to start this game. His defense finally gave him some good starting position. Made a big run on third down to get him down to that end of the field. And there's his family there enjoying it up to this point.
His dad Robert in the hat. To his left, Caleb's mom Karen, and then all the way on the right of your screen, Caleb's wife Andrea. The Haneys from Forney, Texas, about 25 miles outside Dallas, watching their son and husband make his first NFL start. Second down and 5, empty backfield, 40 seconds remaining, second quarter. From the 11. Haney throws it through the end zone. There is a penalty marker on the far side of the field.
Those tight ends are tall, but they're not that tall.
Offside. Defense, number 99, in the neutral zone to snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Lamar Houston, guys, that is the
and moved, it's just a regular play. He decides to be a little bit lazy and getting back and costs his team 5 yards.
So it's now 2nd and 1 from the 6. Following the penalty, Roy Williams in motion. Haney looks left, and it is picked off. Initially deflected by Curry. It is Cameron Wimbley. He's inside the 40. The 20, still on his feet, and he is finally dragged down by Lance Lewis, and a couple of late flags. Could be a horse collar.
I hope they don't call this a horse collar. Great job by Matt Forte getting down there and delaying that, allowing Lance Lewis to come all the way across as the right tackle makes the tackle inside the 10-yard line. Yeah, he grabbed his jersey and pulled him down, but I understand about player safety, but the horse collar is being called in situations where I do not agree with it.
Personal foul. Illegal horse collar tackle. Number 60. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's a big trick play. Caleb Haney has to make sure that this is clean on the backside. It is not. You can see there's 2 defenders right there. Aaron Curry and Cameron Wimbley. Now here's Lance Lewis coming all the way across. He's got the jersey. He's not inside the shoulder pad. He's got a handful of jersey, and he spins him around. I don't agree with how this call is being changed. That's a great individual effort by the right tackle, Lance Lewis, to get down and make that play. He should not have been flagged.
So now, 1st and goal from the 6. Here is Bush, and he is bottled up. Raiders have 2 timeouts, and they will use one here, following the 75-yard interception return by Wimbley, and then the penalty yardage, half the distance, tacked on the horse collar against Lance Lewis. The Visa halftime report is coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Big AFC West game, Broncos and the Chargers, and the Patriots and the Eagles. Eagles looking to win their 2nd straight. The guys will have the scores, the highlights up to the 2nd stats. Visa halftime report coming up. Haney has thrown 3 picks in this half. 14 seconds remaining. Raiders with 1 timeout.
But his defense has bailed him out on the first 2. Now look, he's got the jersey. He's not inside the shoulder pad. He doesn't spin him down in that hard jerking motion straight to the ground. Actually spins him around. Now listen, when you horse collar somebody, I'm all for flagging it because I've seen some very, very bad injuries to players who've been horse collared. That is not a horse collar.
2nd and goal from just inside the 7. Palmer to Bush. And Bush fights his way down to the 1. Knocked out by the combination of Wright and Conti. 5 seconds on the clock.
That's a great job by that Bears defense rallying to the tackle because Michael Bush is a physical runner. He takes on Lance Briggs. He's going to break that tackle, go in for the touchdown, but there's 3 other Bear players coming in to support him.
Hugh Jackson decides to go for it, leaves the offense on the field instead of sending out the field goal unit with 5 seconds remaining.
Lance Briggs has got to wrap up. You just can't come in and throw a shoulder at Michael Bush. He's going to bounce off and keep working.
Timeout is taken by the Bears.
Timeout, Chicago.
I tell you, Goose, this is a huge call right here.
I think send that kicking unit in. 5 seconds, I mean, I don't know if if they don't see it, he's just taught to throw it out of bounds, but
It's one of those ones where you're right on the cusp. I mean, a real quick throw, you know, boy, but if anything goes wrong, you bobble that snap, your receiver gets jammed at the line of scrimmage and you got to hold it for a tick. This is all going to be on Carson Palmer. He's got to be very, very smart and understand that there's only 5 seconds left. If this thing doesn't come off perfectly clean, like you said, Tony, throw it away. I think they can do that in under 5 seconds. But if he holds it for any reason or that snap doesn't come clean, you're flirting with the opportunity to give away points right here and give the Bears a ton of momentum going in at halftime.
well, if you're the Bears defensive backs, you got to go and press as much as possible and try to go and delay this ball coming out as much as possible. I mean, and as a defensive lineman, get your hands up. You know that ball's got to come out quick. You're not going to have time to go and rush the passer or make a move on the line of scrimmage. You got to go, bull rush, get your hands up, and hopefully try to tip a ball.
Recognize the wide split on the field, knowing that the receiver's going to want to come inside.
Looks like he's changing his mind here, Darryl. He's going to kick the field goal.
I agree with you,
I think
Tony.
that's a great move by Hugh Jackson.
You've had a lot
That's
of
smart.
opportunities to really kind of separate in the first half here, and you haven't been able to do it. The Bears defense has responded when the offense has had turnovers. The last thing you want to go into halftime with is only with a 2-point lead because you gave away points at the end of the half.
And remember, it was Chicago who called timeout, which gave Jackson some extra time to think about it. So it's a 19-yard attempt. Janikowski is 3 for 3 in this first half from the right hash. Fleckler places it down. Janikowski's kick is good. Sebastian Janikowski with his 4th field goal of the first half, and Lovie Smith thinks that there should be a second on the clock.
Please reset the game clock to 2 seconds.
And he will get 2 seconds.
Well, you've got Johnny Knox and Devin Hester back deep. If you can get an opportunity to put the ball in their hands, you want that opportunity. We saw Johnny Knox almost take one back on the last kick.
You see the game clock, so Ron Winter has announced that there are still 2 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Raiders with 4 field goals. They've scored 6 points off 3 Chicago turnovers and now lead the Bears 12-7. Bears were in the red zone. 80's pass deflected by Curry, intercepted by Cameron Wimpley, took it back 75 yards. Some additional yardage on the horse collar penalty. Raiders kick a field goal and now lead by 5.
But credit Lovie Smith and his staff right there being on top of that play, recognizing the fact that there were 2 seconds left on that game clock. Anything can happen in this situation when you've got Devin Hester back there.
You know, Darryl, now looking at it, I don't know if it was a good idea for the Chicago Bears to actually call that timeout before they ran that play. Well, gave them the opportunity to think about it and kick that field goal, which could have changed this game.
Earl Bennett forced out of bounds as Janikowski kept it away from Hester. Carson Palmer on the Raiders, leading Caleb Haney and the Bears 12-7 here in Oakland. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. Back in Oakland with the Raiders leading the Bears 12-7. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, what do you look for in the second half?
Hopefully fewer interceptions for Caleb Haney. His defense has really bailed them out. And then really for Oakland's offense to take opportunities when they get them and start cashing in on them. A great chance in that first half to really kind of separate, put a lot of pressure on Chicago, but they weren't able to do that. They didn't take advantage of the opportunities that were presented.
Bears have kept the Raiders out of the end zone for Sebastian Janikowski. Field goals. There's Caleb Haney, who was picked off 3 times in the first half in his first NFL start, but did rush for 42 yards.
A big third down conversion on the Bears' only scoring drive in the first half.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Haney running for 24 yards during that Bears scoring drive through his first regular season touchdown pass to Johnny Knox. Raiders will get the ball first as we begin the second half. Oakland has won 2 in a row. First place in the AFC West with a record of 6-4. For the Bears at 7-3, this is their second of 4 consecutive games against the AFC West. Bears beat San Diego last week. They'll take on the Chiefs and the Broncos the next 2 weeks. Big play at the end of the first half.
And you never know when it's going to be your opportunity to make a play that changes the game. And for the Chicago Bears, it's Lance Lewis, number 60. I want to watch, look where he is right here. Watch this effort by the big right tackle. Look at the great angle he takes. And I'm actually impressed with the speed right there. Matt Forte does a great job battling, staying on his feet, delaying this, gives him enough time for Lance Lewis to get over there. But that's a tremendous effort and will end up being one of the critical plays of the game if Chicago can win.
75-yard return by Wembley. And then he was tackled by Lewis as Palmer throws it into the dirt.
Trying to set up that screen, and that Chicago defense just sniffed it right out again. You know, I had a chance to talk to Hugh Jackson going in at halftime, and he just was not happy with his offense in the first half. He says our offensive line has to do a better job, and we got to score some points. We're better than what we were, how we performed there in the first half. So
Palmer goose 10 for 18 in the first half, and the Raiders rushed for only 24 yards. With slant to the fullback, Reese, who has the biggest play in this game for the Raiders when he went for 47 earlier, this time 11 and a Raiders first down.
You split your fullback outside, he draws coverage from a safety, runs the slant route to the inside. Marcel Reese can do a lot of different things for this offense.
From the 31. This is Bush up the middle. And Michael Bush picks up another Raiders first down. That is his best run of the day as he gains 11.
Good job by that group up front, allowing him, he's not going to make a lot of moves. If you can punch holes in the defense and allow him to just square his shoulders and get downhill, Michael Bush is tough to bring down.
Back-to-back 100-yard games for Bush. Filling in for the injured Darren McFadden. Play clock at 5. From the 42-yard line on first down. Palmer over the middle. It's Reese again. And Marcel Reese takes it down to the Bears' 29. A 29-yard catch and run.
Well, he's having a nice afternoon. Wow. You got to find something out there with your matchups, because right now Carson Palmer has the confidence that Marcel Reese is going to be able to beat coverage. Here he is right out here in the slot again. He's pulling Nick Roach underneath as a linebacker coming out to get him.
The 29 is Bush. Bush gains a couple. Israel Adonijay made the tackle at the 27-yard line. So Marcel Reese, a former wide receiver and tight end in college at the University of Wisconsin, listed at the fullback position, 4 receptions, 88 yards.
And here's where your versatility comes from. Marcel Reese now going into the backfield, into a traditional fullback spot.
Second down and 9. Palmer complete. Chaz Schillings. Another Raiders first down at the Chicago 11. 17-yard pass play.
That's good execution right there by the Raiders. Charles Tillman in the coverage, man-to-man. Good crisp break at the top of the route to create that separation. Good timing on the throw by Carson Palmer.
Raiders started this drive at their 20-yard line. Opening possession, second half. It's Bush. Down inside the 9, Lance Briggs made the tackle.
This offense, I'll tell you what, you must have gave them a great talk at halftime because they are just wearing this Bears defense down right now. 7 plays, 71 yards, and pounding the run game. That's what I thought we were going to see in the beginning of the game, Darryl. A lot more of this kind of an offense out of the Oakland Raiders.
3 receivers to the left, second down and 8. Palmer backpedaling. He fires. And there is a flag. Pass intended for Lewis Murphy.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's on the left tackle, Jared Veldier, only the second Oakland penalty today.
Well, they've done a great job this afternoon. We touched on it in the first half that this is a franchise that has always struggled with penalties. 16 times they've led the league in penalties. 13 times they've led them in yards. And Hugh Jackson said it's one of the frustrating things. It's one of the things I haven't been able to change within the environment up until this point. But they're doing a good job of taking that first step this afternoon.
Higher in as an extra blocker, second down and 18. After a pump fake, Palmer throws to the end zone. A pass intended for Hayward Bay. Jennings again on the coverage. Hayward Bay, the neck injury last Sunday, slow to get up.
How well has Tim Jennings played today? He's been very aggressive now. So what do? You want to try and throw a double move. You throw the slant and go. And he plays this very well. Tim Jennings is having a nice afternoon in coverage.
Now third down and 18 for Hugh Jackson's Raiders. Leading the Bears 12-7. Palmer over the top on third down. It bounced away from Kevin Boss. Urlacher on the coverage for Chicago. Raiders send out the field goal unit.
Well, somebody missed Henry Melton inside and turned him loose right to Carson Palmer, so he had to get rid of that ball earlier than he wanted. So another impressive drive by the Raiders fizzles, and we're going to have another field goal attempt.
Janikowski 4 for 4 today. It's a 37-yard attempt. Raiders' third trip into the red zone, kept out of the end zone once again. Janikowski now 5 for 5. Tying his career high with 5 field goals this afternoon.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of the military, veterans, and their families. By Dodge. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back in Oakland, Sebastian Janikowski tying a franchise record with his 5th successful field goal today. He's done it 4 times. Raiders lead by 8. Kevin Hester will not have an opportunity to bring it out. Bears will start from their own 20. Raiders lead the Bears 15-7. Tune into Fox NFL Sunday next week. Doubleheader action. Many of you will see the Falcons and the Texans early, the Packers and the Giants in America's Game of the Week late. Coverage begins with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Bears go to work trailing by 8, not Forte. Down to the 24-yard line, gain of 4 on first down.
The Bears need to get back to this run game. They averaged over 7 yards a carry in that first half. Matt Forte with one of the big runs early in that half.
Rolando McClain limping off the field for the Raiders, replaced by Darrell Blackstock. Second down and 6. And pushing his way out across the 30 is Forte for a Bears first down.
There's Rolando McClain on the sideline. He's been fighting some injuries during the course of the year.
And you saw the green dot on the back of his helmet. He's the defensive signal caller for the Raiders.
It's not a guy you want out of your lineup right there.
No, extremely athletic inside there, Goose.
He's the quarterback of that defense.
From the 31, Knox unable to make the catch on the quick release from Haney. There's Darrell Blackstock in his 5th season out of Virginia, in for the injured McClain.
Just trying to get this ball outside quickly. You can see the coverage off with Lito Shepherd playing about 7 yards off, and then Balin just trying to get that outside to Johnny Knox right away, let him work in some space.
And there's Aaron Curry on the tackle again. Quick response to that throw right there.
Second and 10. Off the play fake. Haney stays on his feet and now goes down. Back at the 21-yard line, Tyvon Branch with his first sack this season.
Well, Tony, there's a guy that Coach Bresnahan talked to you about on that defense. If there was somebody that he said is having a great year, it's Tyvon Branch. Caleb Haney does a good job of feeling it from the blind side.
I like how he goes for the sack, he misses it, he gets back up, and he keeps going after. He finishes the play. That's what you need to do as a defender.
Third down and 20. Bears must get to the 41. Haney wrapped up, gets rid of it. Catch is made by Forte, but Branch right there to make the tackle along with Curry, forcing the Bears to punt.
Well, they run a nice game up front, the Raiders. Get the pressure on Haney. He gets the ball off, but Tyvon Branch is there to make the tackle. The bottom of your screen, you see Seymour coming around. Goes and brings the pressure right in his face, drives him down to the ground, but still gets the ball off to Matt Forte. But a great job by this defense, running to the ball. Tyvon Branch going and, you have to go and bringing some pressure, getting the sack, going and making the tackle on that back to back.
Podles waiting back at his own 15-yard line. Ryan McCann back deep for the Raiders. It'll be down at the 34-yard line by Sam Hurd. The sack by Branch, Raiders by 8. Raiders defense, even without Rolando McClain, forcing the Bears to punt, so Oakland will take over from their own 34-yard line, leading Chicago by 8. Off the play fake on first down. Raiders look to set up the screen to push, but it did not fool Nick Roach. And the Bears get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ***. NFL Now. Loss of 3, second and 13.
That's a nice job by Nick Roach, because a lot of times we see screen passes and the linemen don't engage the defender, but Stefan Wisniewski was all over him on that play. He was able to fight through the block and then make the tackle.
Second down and 13. Push up the middle. Across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And 4. Bears shuffle in defensive personnel. They have lost backup linebacker Brian Eru to a hamstring injury. Rolando McClain back on the Raiders sideline, getting taped up. Third down and 8 for the Raider offense. Leading 15-7, 5 Sebastian Janikowski field goals, accounting for all of the Raiders' points. Raiders must get to the 44 for a first down, and Palmer's pass was batted down by Amobi Okoye, who had a sack earlier, and now the Raiders will punt it away.
Well, one of the things that the Bears had to do today was get pressure with their down 4. You see all the linebackers walked up at their drop. That means there's 7 people back in coverage right now. And this was going to be a tough throw for Carson anyways. Amobi Okoye does a good job on the deflection, but the Bears able to drop everybody back, had it covered pretty well down the field.
Those defensive linemen inside, what they're doing is getting a nice push on a bull rush and leaving no room for the quarterback to go and step up.
Hester back deep, awaiting the punt from Leckler. And over in kick, forcing Hester all the way back to the 10. Hester up the sideline. A terrific coverage downfield following the 54-yard punt. A return of only 4 yards. Oakland Raiders lead the Chicago Bears, who have won their last 5 games, 15-7, with 26-year-old Caleb Haney making his first NFL start at quarterback for Chicago. Rolando McClain has returned to the game for the Raiders. From the 17-yard line on first down, this is Matt Forte, and he is wrapped up from behind by Cameron Wimbley as Forte fights his way back to the line of scrimmage.
The edge defenders for the Raiders have done a nice job today in defending the run, because Chicago likes to get Matt Forte on the perimeter. He works best in space. They do have to counter that running in between the tackles, but Cameron Wimbley and Aaron Curry, even Desmond Bryant and Lamar Houston, the guys who are responsible for support on the outside, have played well today, forcing him back to the inside.
Forte with 51 yards on 10 carries, second down and 10. 3 wide receiver set from the 17. Haney looking for Forte, and it was broken up by Lito Shepherd.
I think for a young quarterback making a start, one of the tough things are these zone pressures where those defensive linemen drop out into the throwing lanes. You drop back, you go through your progression, you think you've got everything read the right way, and then all of a sudden there's a defensive end or a defensive tackle who's dropped back into one of your throwing lanes.
Third down and 10. Haney looks to spin away from Wembley. Down he goes, and there is a flag.
Holding. Offense number 67. Penalties decline. Makes it 4th down.
Well, they're trying to move the pocket here and get Caleb Haney out to the right. Watch Tommy Kelly, number 93, work through here. He's going to force that back. And now what you've done is you put Matt Forte on Cameron Wimbley. That's a tough job for Matt Forte. But it was Tommy Kelly who made the play because they were trying to get a dash-style throw and get Caleb Haney out to the right. But Tommy Kelly forced everything back inside.
Podlish again, punting out of his own end zone. Brian McCann back deep for the Raiders. End over end kick. And it takes a Bears roll down to the 39-yard line. 5.5 remaining, third quarter. Raiders with their third sack get the ball back, leading by 8. Rod Woodson on the right, studying the photos. Raiders leading 15-7. Caleb Haney on the other side has been picked off 3 times today. Raiders start from their own 38. Palmer on first down, handing it off to Bush.
Nice run support by Brandon Merriweather on that, coming up and filling that. Looked like Michael Bush was going to try to cut that back to the outside.
Bush with 40 yards on 15 carries. Reese, the Raiders' leading receiver, from the fullback spot.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard remains second down.
Right tackle Khalif Barnes. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Remember when the Eagles had a 10-0 lead over New England? Forget about it. Brady hooks up with Wes Welker's second time today. Welker gets it into the end zone. They are cruising. 31-13 right now in the third quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Who would have thought the Eagles would be in danger of dropping to 4 and 7? Second down and 14. Palmer steps up. And now he throws. And Chaz Schillens makes the catch at midfield. He stayed in bounds, gain of 16.
Let's watch Michael Bush. Here comes Corey Graham on the blitz. Steps up, forces him upfield. Now Carson Palmer can step out that way. Good job with his eyes down the field.
16 yards.
Finds Chad Schillens. Good drop, dragging that foot.
Here's set of downs for the Raiders from midfield. Here's Bush. And Michael Bush picks up another Oakland first down to the Bears 36, gain of 14.
That was impressive right there, Goose. I watched Michael Bush on film, and you see him downhill, shoulder square, but this is some really nice feet on this run.
Yeah, he's really running downhill. One thing I'm really surprised with the Bears, I mean, early in the game, you see them trying to attack the ball, rip the ball out. They have had no success whatsoever getting the ball away from this Raiders running backs.
Bears with one takeaway today, the interception by Graham. Play clock now at 3. We're on the Chicago 36. First carry today, only the second this season for Ron Cartwright, the former Washington Redskin. His only prior carry came on a fake punt. Cartwright gains 4 and then heads to the sidelines.
Ooh, nice job by Michael Bush cutting back, but he almost loses the ball there. I mean, Cartwright, sorry about that. Rob Cartwright, tough runner also.
Bush back in, second down and 6. Palmer over the top to Bush. Raiders first down to the Chicago 20.
Lemmy's making that one look too easy. But here we are on the part of the field where this offense has bogged down during the course of the afternoon. Been very, very good from 20 to 20. But watch Michael Bush. He's just going to drop into that area as the linebackers drop. Carson Palmer gets it to him quick.
Darren McFadden watching from the sidelines. Raiders have been in the red zone 3 times today. Come away with 9 points on 3 field goals. Palmer's pass is short, intended for Darius Hayward-Bay.
Hey, Darryl, on those passes right there, is that just lack of timing? Is that something that gets better the longer that Carson Palmer's here?
I think so, because he talked to us about, we're close on a lot of things. Sometimes the route is at the wrong depth. Sometimes my throws are in the wrong location. And I think that you're exactly right, Tony. The longer they have the opportunity to work together, the better they get at those situations, and you don't have those plays that look like miscommunication on the outside.
Palmer acquired October 18th by the Raiders, making his 4th start. Palmer on second down, pass is caught by Schillens at the Bears' 9-yard line for a Raiders first down. Now the Raiders have been inside the 10 twice prior, yet they have not scored a touchdown. They're inside the 10-yard line for the 3rd time today.
One of the things the Bear defenders will tell you is we don't care about yards, we care about points. And they've been able to live up to that this afternoon by forcing field goals on all these possessions.
First and goal from the 9, and Marcel Reese is wrapped up by Chauncey Davis. Reese loses 3 yards.
That was made by Brian Urlacher, who timed that cadence perfect, got up into the backfield, forced Marcel Reese to move quickly to his left. And it's been a cat and mouse game on this drive once they cross midfield with the cadence of Carson Palmer versus the Bears trying to get into some blitzes. So you credit Brian Urlacher right there for doing some on-field study and zoning in on that cadence.
Second and goal from the 12. Palmer gets rid of it to Bush. Bush is inside the 5. There is a flag as he dives for the end zone. And it's ruled a touchdown. Penalty marker back at the 11-yard line. Bears say it's against the Raiders. So does Ron Winter.
Holding. Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
It's on the left guard. Rookie out of Penn State, Stefan Wisniewski.
Number 61, Stefan Wisniewski, right there on your screen. You can see the arms wrapped around. And again, it's like we say, Tony, if you go to the ground, yeah.
Yep, they're going to call it every time. I don't know if it was a hold, but you're exactly right, Darryl.
Now remember, the Raiders had first and goal at the 9. Loss of 3 by Bush. Now the penalty. It is second and goal from the 21. Raiders without a touchdown so far today. And Palmer goes down back at the 27. Henry Melton, he's played a strong game today.
He really has. And let me tell you, these guys are getting sacks against a very good offensive line. Rod Marinelli got his message across to his guys up front because they have had consistent pressure. That's a tough job for Samson Sautelli to come across and try and get that block. You can see there goes Stefan Wisniewski pulling. They're running the play action. He's an upfield player. That's just catching the right play at the right time with what you're doing defensively.
Raiders allowed only 15 sacks, Goose, prior to this game. Bears have 4 today.
Julius Peppers on your side doesn't hurt at all there, Darryl.
Now Palmer on third down. Broken up again. It is Jennings.
Yeah, but a good play by Darius Hayward-Bay on that play, kind of switching roles. It's a jump ball situation. Watch 85 down here on the bottom of your screen. Watch him turn into the defender right here. It's an underthrown ball. Tim Jennings in a good position to make a play to get the interception. And Darius Hayward-Bay goes up and knocks it out.
So Janikowski, who is 5 for 5 today, has already tied a franchise record with 5 successful field goals. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Bears keep the Raiders out of the end zone once again. Janikowski knocks it straight through. That is a Raiders franchise record. 6 field goals in one game. Janikowski now 6 for 6. And the Raiders now lead 18-7. .22 seconds remaining, third quarter here in Oakland. Well, Fox Monday is all about drama. First Television's biggest adventure is just getting started. Don't miss an all-new Terra Nova. Then the thrills just keep on coming when medicine's most brilliant mind fights to solve a high-stakes case on an all-new episode of House. It all starts tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox.
Coming into this game, you talk about winning 2 of the 3 phases, and Chicago has been so good with defense and special teams over the years that I think a lot of people looked at those matchups and thought the advantage would go to Chicago. But you have to credit the Oakland Raiders today. You know, with Shane Lechler, with Sebastian Janikowski, they've done a great job in their coverage most of the day. Johnny Knox had 1 long return, but the Raiders can throw up a pretty good special teams unit at you from week to week as well.
In case you're wondering, the NFL record is 8 field goals in one game by Rob Aronis of Tennessee. Did it against Houston back in 2007. Janikowski has 6 today. As Knox comes out of the end zone, hesitates, and then is tackled by Rock Cartwright back at the 18-yard line with help from Mike Mitchell.
I don't know, Johnny Knox had a lot of green in front of him, decided to try and cut back. Could have got another 10 yards out of that run.
So here comes Caleb Haney starting for the injured Jay Cutler. Suffered the thumb injury last Sunday. Cutler is here today on the sidelines. Haney threw 3 picks in the first half. Also his first regular season touchdown pass to Johnny Knox. Bears have had 2 possessions here in the third quarter, have punted twice. Start from their own 18-yard line. Another big run from Marion Barber. Barber takes it out to the 39-yard line. He gains 21.
Tommy Kelly is so close to stopping this play as he works down the line of scrimmage. Beats the double team. He's right there, just a step late, Marion Barber able to run through that tackle.
Bears with 146 yards on the ground as the third quarter comes to an end with the Raiders on 6 Janikowski field goals, leading 18-7. Fourth quarter coming up from Oakland. Here's Sebastian Janikowski, who amazingly has never gone to a Pro Bowl. He has accounted for all 18 Raider points today. 6 field goals, a franchise record. Bears trailing by 11. Here's Marion Barber up to the 43-yard line.
That's what happens when you have Adam Vinatieri in your conference, the Pro Bowl voter.
Exactly.
But he's had a fantastic career for the Raiders. And it looked on that last kick, we saw earlier on a kickoff where it looked like he may have re-aggravated that hamstring injury that he's been battling for the last couple of weeks, but looked to be okay on that last field goal.
How about the Bears running game, 150 yards today. Second down and 6. Quick release from Haney. This is Earl Bennett. Bennett close to a first down, knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line by Aaron Curry.
That is amazing that he's never made it to a Pro Bowl.
Named an alternate last year for the first time.
I don't know, if I was a team, I wouldn't mind having him as a kicker, I'll tell you that. Especially when I talked to him before the game and I asked him, what his range is here on this field. He says, I have no problem kicking from 60 yards. That's a heck of a lot of offense.
Haney on the sneak, picks up a Bears first down. Well, Goose, the Raiders wanted Janikowski back in 2000. They selected him in the first round. Janikowski and Brian Urlacher are the only first-round picks from that 2000 draft, still with their same team.
You're never going to let either one of those guys go anywhere. You're the front office of that organization. It's one of the forgotten parts of the game, but when you can have Shane Lechler and Sebastian Janikowski as your specialists, I mean, you're going to be able to build a very, very good special teams unit.
Yes, you will.
Haney did pick up the first. Yeah, we talked to Brian Urlacher yesterday about the loss of Jay Cutler, and Brian told us we feel we can win the game on defense every week.
Yeah, and just go back a couple of weeks ago against Detroit, how important they were. And, Jay Cutler was a quarterback at that time in that game, but it was the defense and special teams that really kind of blew that game open. And
there's Marion Barber. Not much.
It's kind of the way that this team is built. It's not all centered around one person. So when Caleb Haney came in, he's got this strong running game to lean on offensively with Marion Barber and with Matt Forte. You can see what they've done this afternoon. Marion Barber averaging almost 7, Matt Forte over 5. And then Caleb Haney's actually chipped in with some timely runs as well.
43 yards on the ground for Haney. Now second down and 8. Haney looking to throw. And the pass is caught by the tight end, Matt Spaeth, the former Pittsburgh Steeler. His 7th catch of the season. And he looks to have a Bears first down. So the Bears move the chain. Chicago with a record of 7-3, 5 consecutive wins. Green Bay, of course, beat Detroit on Thanksgiving. Packers in first place at 11-0. Lions 7-4. Bears looking to surpass Detroit by a game of the NFC North standings. As Barber takes it down to the 36-yard line. McLean on the tackle, gain of 4.
Marion Barber just getting in there, pushing that pile. I mean, there's some runs for the Chicago Bears that don't look like much, but it keeps them ahead of the chains. You can get into those 2nd and 6s on a regular basis. Makes things a lot easier for Caleb Haney, gives Mike Martz a lot more freedom as a play caller.
Giordano on the coverage.
Well, this was just all timing. You know, Roy Williams was ready for this ball a little bit sooner. This is a hard play action cell with really Roy Williams the only viable receiver down the field. That ball needed to be thrown right at that time. You see the play action, the hard sell. You're going to have Kellen Davis coming out late, but they're trying to get that to Roy Williams. I don't know if he didn't push it deep enough, but the timing on that throw was not done properly.
You know, Haney had plenty of time to throw that ball earlier, just didn't get it done.
3rd down and 6, 3 wide receivers. Bears keep it on the ground with Forte. He takes it down to the 31.5-yard line. Stop shy of the marker. Here comes Robbie Gould and the Chicago field goal unit.
Well, credit the Raider defense right there, because we talked to Coach Bresnahan about that, you know, with the situation with a younger quarterback in, how you have to be ready for anything on 3rd down. And in a critical 3rd and 6 situation, you know, you do have to expect some type of running game. And his guys were ready for it.
This will be a 50-yard attempt. Gould's season long is 51. He's 3 for 3 from 50-plus this season. From the left hash, new long snapper, Massey. Podles places it down. And the kick by Gould from 50 yards out is good. Robbie Gould remains perfect from 50-plus. He is now 4 for 4 as the Chicago Bears pull to within 8.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom.
Not a great snap by Chris Massey, but Adam Podles does a great job of getting this ball down. Almost hits the ground, gets it. So Robbie Gould can come in there and kick that ball right through the uprights.
Patrick Mattingly, who's played more games than any other Bear in history, injured last week, missing his first game since 2002. Tyler Clutch did a nice job last week after the injury. Bears brought in Jake Laptad during the week, and then replaced him with the longtime Ram, Chris Massey, snapping today.
Probably a tough decision for Chicago, but a great decision with a young guy in Jake Laptad and going for the veteran, because this is one of those games you can tell right now every point is going to be critical.
McCann takes a knee. Raiders with an 8-point lead will start from their own 20. Carson Palmer and the Raiders lead by 8. Raiders have not scored in the 4th quarter over their last 5 games. 20 consecutive 4th quarter possessions without a point.
Really a team that's kind of bogged down in the second half. You mentioned earlier how well they play in the 2nd quarter. They haven't been able to carry that momentum into the 2nd half, especially the 4th quarter.
Bush takes the handoff from Palmer and is bottled up. No gain on the play.
I think them not scoring in the 4th quarter goes hand in hand with what we've seen here all day. They've had some great tries. They get into the red zone and they just can't get it into the end zone. You know, it's all about finishing. That's something that they have to really stress there at the Raiders.
Raiders have been in the red zone 4 times, Goose. They've been inside the 10-yard line 3 times and have come away with only field goals. They lead by 8. On 2nd and 10, Palmer's pass to Hayward Bay is ruled a catch at the 35-yard line. Gain of 15, a Raiders first down.
I'm actually surprised to see Darius Hayward Bay out here today. He had that injury last week, was on the injury list all week long, and he's had some timely catches for the Raider offense today.
Lovie Smith was right there. Didn't think that he got his feet in, but the official said yes.
Eligible. Number 69 is eligible.
He's checking upstairs with the people to see if they think they got that foot down. You can see the hand in the pocket. You wonder if he's got the red flag in there.
And with the play clock winding down, the Raiders take a timeout. So this is going to give Lovie Smith and his coaches upstairs some more time to look at that last play.
Number one, you got to have possession. So let's check possession first. Looks like he has possession all the way through. Now let's check his feet.
Looks like that left one gets in, but that right one's really close.
And remember, there's no more force-out rule. Lovie talking about it with Hayward Bay.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
69 is reporting eligible. Number 69.
Back in Oakland, the last play prior to the Raiders timeout was ruled a completion by Darius Hayward Bay.
Doesn't look like he gets that right foot down in bounds.
And now Lovie Smith has thrown the red flag. So the Bears benefited by that Oakland timeout.
Exactly. You heard the referee say that 69 reports is eligible, so they were trying to get a different personnel group on. We're forced to call
Chicago
a timeout.
challenged the ruling on the previous play of a completed pass at the sideline.
And that time allowed Lovie Smith to get a couple different looks at it.
Ruled to completion on the field. Ron Winter will take a look at it, and we bring in our rules analyst Mike Pereira after these messages. We'll ask Mike what he thinks. Lovie Smith challenged the last play, ruled a catch on the field. We welcome in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, what did you think?
Hey, I think they got to reverse this, Kenny. The left toe is down, but Hayward Bay's right foot. Let's watch this now. The toe is going to hit, but then the heel hits out of bounds. And in a normal step, the entire foot has to come down in bounds. So you don't just focus on the toe, you got to see the whole foot. So now I think they reverse it to incomplete and go back and reset it.
After review, the receiver did not get 2 feet in bounds with possession of the ball. Therefore, it was an incomplete pass. Makes it 3rd down at the 20-yard line. Please reset the game clock at 10:16. Chicago is not charged with a team timeout.
So Lovie Smith loses the challenge, loses the Hayward Bay loses the 15-yard reception. Good call, Mike.
Yeah, and then I think here's the thing. You cannot officiate it any other way. To try to differentiate between toe first, then heel, that's why you have to say it's the whole foot, and that's why it is interpreted that way.
All right, thanks, Mike. So Lovie Smith wins his first challenge. He still has 2 more in his pocket if he gets his next one right. And the Raiders, Darryl, now facing a 3rd down and 10. Oakland just 1 for 11 on 3rd down today. Their only conversion came back in the first quarter.
And really that miscommunication on getting that new personnel group on and forced to call a timeout gave Lovie Smith the time he needed to be able to see enough information to challenge.
So now Palmer on 3rd down and 10. Pass off the hand of Schillens. And the Raiders forced to punt it away.
You never know. Some of those little hidden plays that happen during the course of the game have such an impact. So not being able to get your right personnel on forces you to have to go for this. A little high on the throw. Good job by Brian Urlacher pulling off, not taking a chance on getting a penalty.
Devin Hester back deep. Oakland leading by 8. Thanks to 6 Sebastian Janikowski field goals. Leffler punting from his own 10-yard line. Wow, what a kick. Came into this game with the best punting average in the league, and this one will bounce into the end zone. That is an 80-yard punt.
That looks like a jugs machine.
New franchise record, guys. Franchise record 80-yard punt by Leffler. Franchise record 80-yard punt by Leffler, a net of 60 because it bounced into the end zone. Bears will start at their own 20.
Just to make sure that nothing bad can happen, you know, you always want your returner to get away from that. You never know how that ball is going to bounce, and you know you got to have a feel when Shane Leffler hit that. And when you turned and ran as fast as you could, as quick as Devin Hester is, and he wasn't going to run it down, you just need to pull off on that one.
So now Caleb Haney and the Bears go back to work from their own 20. Forte gains 3, brought down by Lamar Houston. 2nd down and 7.
That was the first time, Darryl, I've seen a returner turn and sprint. Devin Hester, I mean, that ball was kicked over his head by 25 yards. Unbelievable.
Hester held in check today. Raiders have kept it out of his hands for the most part. He has only 26 yards in the return game, but Johnny Knox has had a big day with 134 yards in return. 2nd down and 7. Haney with time. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Knox for a Bears first down.
Number 13, Johnny Knox.
Good progression by Caleb Haney on this. It looked like he wanted Johnny Knox early, and then he checked down to Tyler Klutz in the flat. That little adjustment right there, he has the time. He comes back to Johnny Knox and is able to get it in.
Knox gained 19 out to the 42. Under 9 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Caleb Haney in his first NFL start for the injured Jay Cutler from the 42-yard line. Haney complete to Knox again.
Looks like the same exact play right there.
Another Bears first down, gain of 16. We check in with Kurt.
Well, you haven't seen anything that looks like this today. Washington at Seattle. Roy Helu up and over and then through a tackle. 28 yards for his first NFL touchdown. Pulls the game a little closer. Right now, Seattle trying to hold on, up by 3 midway through the fourth. Kenny moves from good.
Roy Helu, the rookie out of Nebraska, showing his athleticism.
Now, we've had Washington 2 out of the last 3 weeks. He was impressive in both of our games.
From the 42-yard line on first down, Haney looking left, doesn't throw. Now he throws out of bounds.
Caleb Haney really learning from his mistakes during the course of the game. He wants to go out to his right side. Stanford route is going to jump that route. He gets off it right away. Doesn't try and fit it, doesn't try and force it. Throw the ball out of bounds.
Second and 10 from the Raiders' 42. Haney takes off. Ran for 24 earlier. Down at the 35, a gain of 7.
Number 96, Cameron Wimbley.
Good quick decision to pull the ball down, but you have to understand how athletic these pass rushers are. Cameron Wimbley turns and gets downfield right away. He gets a good hit on Caleb Haney. Lucky he didn't get helmet to helmet on that one.
Third down and 3. Haney moving to his right. Now he throws, and the pass is short. Intended for Johnny Knox.
That was another bad decision by Caleb Haney. We saw that earlier in the game when he had that pressure and the defensive lineman on him. Here he scrambles out to his right-hand side. There's the pressure from Seymour. He's got to go and throw that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better than it always is. I mean, there's Johnny Knox getting behind coverage, but as you pointed out, Tony, I mean, it looked almost identical to that play we saw in the first quarter.
Yeah, Tommy Kelly had the pressure, not Seymour, but you got to tuck out, run out of bounds, and just dump that ball off.
So here's Robbie Gould to his 53-yard attempt from the left hash. Does it have the distance? It does.
This is a kicking clinic here in this game for us today.
Robbie Gould for the second time in the fourth quarter, hitting from 50-plus.
I agree, Tony. We're seeing some great specialists on the field today. I mean, we get an 80-yard punt. Prior to this, the Bears drive it down and then hit a 53-yard field goal. And the pressure during the course of this game, because, I mean, the value of every point in this game this afternoon is so critical, and these guys have risen to the occasion. And look at how far he clears that by at 53.
Robbie Gould is now 5 for 5 this season from at least 50 yards out.
I'll tell you, you got to look back at that play. We talked about it earlier. Darrell, Lance Lewis, and his play running down the field and stopping that ball from getting in the end zone. It would have been a 9-point difference now instead of 5 for the Chicago Bears. Huge play.
Sebastian Janikowski 6 for 6. Gould with 2 long ones here in the fourth quarter. It's now a 5-point game. McCann on the return for Oakland. Out across the 25. Well, field goal kickers around the league have been outstanding this season from 50-plus. Connecting at a 67% clip, and if that stands over the course of the entire season, that would be a new NFL record.
That's amazing. I mean, we talk about how athletic the guys are on the field today in this game, and sometimes we forget about the punters and the kickers, and their performances this afternoon brought them into this equation.
Bush on first down. Not much. 8 field goals today, 6 by Janikowski and 2 by Gold. A combined 332 yards in field goals.
I mean, 4 of the 5 for Sebastian Janikowski, over 40 yards. It's not like they're driving in all the time in their little chip shot field goals.
Somebody has these guys in fantasy right now is very happy.
Absolutely. Janikowski's hit from 40, 47, 42, 19, 37, and 44. Gold from 50 and 53 yards out. Second down and 10. As Palmer's pass is caught with Jennings on the coverage. A rare catch against Jennings today. That's Hayward Bay for a gain of 8.
Yeah, you can see he got up right away. He was not happy with how he played that one. That floated on him a little bit. I think that Tim Jennings felt he had an opportunity for a huge defensive play right there.
Remember, the Raiders have not had success on third down today. Just 1 for 12. Under 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Third down and 2 for Oakland. 3 wide receivers set. Schillens in motion. The toss to Bush, and Michael Bush picks up a first down and more. Finally knocked out by Chris Conti, but there is a flag.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
Holding. Offense number 64. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
That's a shame because that was a well-designed play. You get that motion coming in real hard. You get everybody focused on that. And there's Samson Satelli, number 64, trying to get his arms around.
Grabbed hold of Corey Graham. But wipes out the run for a first down by Michael Bush.
They haven't had many penalties today, the Oakland Raiders, but that was a critical one. Just their 5th penalty this afternoon.
Third down and 6. Raiders must get to the 36-yard line. And they do as the catch is made by Schillens. Chaz Schillens picks up an Oakland first down, gain of 14 down to Los Angeles, Kurt Menefee.
The streaky Rex Grossman showing a little good Rex here for the Redskins in Seattle. 50-yard pass on 3rd and 19, hooking up with Anthony Armstrong for the touchdown. The extra point is blocked, but the Redskins have scored twice in the last 3.5 minutes and now lead it 20-17. Kenny Motion Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Redskins started the season 3-1. They have lost their last 6. Chicago Bears, who have won 5 in a row, trail by 5. New set of downs for the Raiders. Palmer handing it off to Bush, and he takes it across midfield into Bears territory. Gain of 7.
We talked about it earlier, Dow, that Raiders offensive line doing a really good job of staying on their blocks up front, making lanes for Michael Bush and Rock Cartwright in the middle.
They do a nice job of staying on their feet, Tony. You know, one of the things that an offensive line coach will track are OTGs, and it's when the guys are on the ground. You can't do anything on the ground. This group as a whole does a really nice job of staying on their feet.
Second down and 3. From the Bears' 49-yard line, Bush forced back, initially by Lance Briggs. And the Bears use a timeout, stopping the clock with 3:59 remaining here in Oakland.
Good job by the defensive right side of the Chicago Bears. You can see right there, Michael Bush has nowhere to run. They clog everything up.
Lovie Smith stops the clock. Raiders facing another third down. Third down and 5. 3:59 remaining, fourth quarter. Raiders leading by 5. All of their points coming on Sebastian Janikowski field goals. He's hit a franchise record 6. Robbie Gould of the Bears with a 50 and 53-yarder here in the fourth quarter to pull Chicago to within 5. Caleb Haney's first NFL start for the injured Jay Cutler. Threw a touchdown pass in the first half. Was also picked off 3 times. 3rd down and 5 for the Raiders. They must get to the Chicago 46 for a first down. 3 wide receivers. Palmer fires to the outside, and it's Louis Murphy who makes the catch. Murphy takes it all the way down to the Bears 3. A 47-yard pass play.
Well, credit offensive coordinator Al Saunders for the Oakland Raiders with a great play call. We've talked about how aggressive Tim Jennings has been all day. You can see right there a tremendous release by Louis Murphy as they're competing off the line of scrimmage. When you have somebody that plays very aggressive all day long, take a shot at him, and if you're going to be able to hold the ball and throw it deep down the field, you better make sure that you've got Julius Peppers accounted for. You double him up, give Carson Palmer the time to stretch the field.
A timeout is taken by the Raiders with 3:51 remaining. 1st and goal for Oakland from the Chicago 3-yard line, with the Raiders leading by 5. Well, after an incredible regular season filled with upsets and surprises, Fox Sports is proud to bring you 2 inaugural conference championship games beginning on Friday. UCLA battling number 10 Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, followed Saturday by number 16 Wisconsin and number 14 Michigan State in the Big Ten title game. Back-to-back nights, both beginning at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox.
Well, can the Bears defense do it one more time? This is the 4th time Oakland has been inside the 10-yard line. They've settled for field goals every other occasion. They're going to have to make them do it one more time if they're going to have a chance to tie this game up.
1st and goal from the Bears 3. Palmer hands it off to Bush, and he takes it in for a Raiders touchdown.
This is just a group that knows exactly what you're going to do. The Bears defense knows that they want to run it in, and watch the job that Oakland's front does. Watch the hole that they create.
I mean, Darryl, I don't want to say me and you, but I could have probably ran through that hole. What an unbelievable job, you're right, by that offensive line. Michael Bush knew exactly where he was going.
What about me, Goose?
Kenny, you would have had a hard time. That hole would have closed up by the time you would have got there, probably.
I would agree. Yeah. Here's Janikowski with the extra point. Raiders score their first touchdown today, and they score in the 4th quarter for the first time in their last 6 games.
A couple of issues that they've been able to put to rest this afternoon. They've done a great job with their penalties, and as you pointed out, this gets into the mind of the players. Now look at the effort going up and over the top to get a block on Brian Urlacher by Cooper Carlisle. It starts to get into your head, you know, what is it in the second half? You know, we're just not the same team. We play so well in the 2nd quarter. We can't carry it into the 3rd quarter. And then over the last 5 weeks in the 4th, you know, you haven't been able to do anything. So today, I mean, they've done a really good job with their penalties. And now they get some points in the 4th quarter. And this group has talked, you know, for the last couple of weeks, listen, we haven't played a complete game yet this season. And they really feel that they're a team to be reckoned with in the AFC if they can play a complete game.
And how about that huge 47-yard completion from Palmer to Murphy on 3rd down, leading to the Oakland score.
Great play call by Al Saunders on that one. Yeah, nothing conservative there. Some people felt they got a little conservative in the second half last week against Minnesota with a big lead. Nothing conservative about that play call by Al Saunders.
So Caleb Haney and the Bears find themselves down by 12. There's Al Saunders up in the Raiders coaching box, Oakland's offensive coordinator. Kester will take it out. Brought down shy of the 20. Well, Fox tonight, cap off your holiday weekend with an all-new animation domination. It's a full night of comedy that just keeps on giving with America's favorite families. Television's most animated night starts tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox. The Raider crowd on their feet as Caleb Haney, who owned a Moose Johnston jersey as a youngster growing up in the Dallas area, steps up to the line, trailing by 12, first and 10 from the 16. After a pump fake, Haney throws, and Rolando McClain was right there, climbing up the back of Matt Forte.
They've done this a couple of times today, just great recognition of the play. They're trying to do a double screen. They fake the Earl Bennett out to the right. They're trying to get back to the left side with Matt Forte. Rolando McClain is not fooled.
Loss of 6, now second and 16. Haney to the outside, incomplete, intended for Johnny Knox. Mike Mitchell on the coverage.
This is the way I remember the crowd out here in Oakland when we played. This was a difficult place to play. I was very surprised to learn that they were 2-3 at home this year with 2 really tough losses to the Broncos and the Chiefs here. Looks like they're getting that mystique back.
Bears use a timeout. Their second.
Caleb Haney came into the game very confident in what he could do, but he got off to a tough start. That was a bad decision right there in the first quarter. And then later in that same quarter, tried to fit one in over the top. And then at halftime, right before the half, with an opportunity for points on a trick play, kind of that sneaky screen, you got to make sure that that is clean. So you forfeit the opportunity for a touchdown or a field goal. And the Oakland Raiders are able to get 3 points out of it. So at least a 6-point swing right there at the end of the first half. That became the critical transaction during this game.
Jay Cutler can only watch from the sidelines. We mentioned earlier, Lovie Smith told us Bears hope to have Cutler back before the end of the regular season. Third down and 16. Haney fires downfield for Johnny Knox. He makes the catch. What a catch by Knox!
Oh, you gotta love this kid's moxie.
Wow.
That was one of the things that Mike Martz said about him in the championship game. You know, he throws the pick, and he comes right back down and drives the Bears down the field. Watch this throw. And then Johnny Knox fending off with a one-handed catch. Oh, boy.
81 yards from Haney to Knox. First and goal from the Raiders' 9. Haney moving to his right. Now he throws out of the end zone.
Here comes Kellen Davis onto the field. You know, in this situation, get him out of the field. You've got to have a big target down here in the red zone. He's going to create a matchup problem with his height and his reach. If something goes wrong, at least he gives you the opportunity for a jump ball if he gets the right matchup.
6'7" has one catch today. Second and goal from the 9. Haney throws, end zone, touchdown. There he is, Darrell Kellen Davis. And the Bears, following the 81-yard pass from Haney to Knox, reach the end zone. As you had a look at Haney's family, a 5-play, 84-yard drive.
There's Kellen Davis working the slot. And the in route right there, Tyvon Branch lets him get the step. I don't know if he was trying to bait the throw.
Kellen Davis in his career, 22 receptions, 8 for touchdowns.
Not a bad percentage.
Here's Gold. for the extra point, pulling the Bears to within 5.
Wow, what a change in this game.
Bears have scored on all 3 of their fourth quarter possessions, 2 field goals and now a touchdown.
Well, we talked about Caleb Hayden saying that he had the skill set that was necessary to function in this offense. One of them is on the move, being able to throw well on the move. Now that's an ad lib right there, not a design. But I tell you what, he doesn't back down. That was as tough a first half as you could have in your first NFL start, and he's just continued the battle here in the second half. And he's given his team an opportunity to win this game.
That offensive line did a great job of giving him time to be able to go look downfield and make this throw. But with only 1 timeout, Chicago's got to pick an onside kick, no, Moose?
Well, 1 timeout plus the onside kick, plus the 2-minute warning, Tony.
I don't know if you got another 81-yard pass in your back pocket, though. And the way that Shane Lechler punched the ball, even if you force the stop, he's probably going to back you up. In this situation, boy, it's a tough one, Goose.
I'm going onside.
You know what? I might agree with you here.
Gold with 5 attempts in his career. Bears are 0 for 5 on onside kicks with Gold. But remember, 1 timeout remaining for Chicago plus the 2-minute warning.
Raiders got 8 guys on the line of scrimmage right here. All 8. Look at that. They're preparing for that onside kick.
.2:11 remaining. Raiders lead the Bears by 5.
Wow.
The whistle just prior to the kick, which was an onside kick as the Raiders use a timeout.
Oakland.
Robbie Gould couldn't pull off in that situation. Talk about making somebody show their hand.
Wow. So the Raiders use their final timeout. Bears with 1 remaining, plus the 2-minute warning.
See how focused Robbie Gould was on that kick. He was the only one who didn't stop. Nobody from the cover team for the Bears really moved. They heard the whistles blowing. Robbie Gould completely focused on trying to hit that ball perfect.
Raiders send McCann back deep as the Bears set up. Gould will head over for a chat with a couple of his teammates.
I wonder if he comes in right there. He just moved the ball. Well, you know what, Goose? He moves it over a little bit. Maybe, hey, I'm gonna hit it the same way, but I'm gonna try and drive it about 5 yards deeper. So instead of landing on the 45, I'm gonna try and get this thing to land down near the 50. So understand, as they step up, I'm gonna try and get into that area.
The onside kick, and it's at the bottom of the pile.
I think Corey Graham got it.
Officials will try to get to the bottom of that pile following the onside kick by Gould. Bears say they have it. No official signal yet.
Corey Graham is the lone bear down there.
Ron Winter says Raiders football.
I mean, Gould hits it exactly like he wants to, gets it up.
Yeah, it's executed very well. And I think it's Charles Tillman, number 33, who comes in and gets the hit on Matt Giordano right there. Now the ball's loose. I thought Corey Graham had a shot at it, but you'll see he's going to be the only bear at the bottom of that pile.
Looks like 86, David Osbury came up with the recovery for the Raiders. So with 2:09 remaining, Bears have 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. With the Raiders leading by 5. Recovery of an onside kick is not reviewable. Osbury, the rookie out of USC, came up with it. So now the Raiders will go to work from their own 46-yard line, leading by 5. Clock has been reset to 2:07. Palmer hands it off to Bush. And he is hit back behind the 45 for a loss of a yard, and the Bears stop the clock prior to the 2-minute warning. Lovie Smith using his final timeout with 2:01 remaining. Medical staff working on Cameron Wimbley. Raiders facing a 2nd down and 11 from their own 45. 2:01 remaining. 4th quarter. Raiders leading the Bears by 5. Chicago with 13 points here in the 4th quarter.
69.
And the Raiders with their first touchdown of the game on their last possession. Second down and 11, it's Bush. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. It will be 3rd down and 9 for the Raiders when we return. Oakland just 3 for 14 on 3rd down today. 1:56 remaining here in Oakland. A 5-point Raider lead and a huge play coming up following the 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 9 with Devin Hester looming should the Raiders not convert here and be forced to punt. Raiders must get to the Bears 44 for a 1st down. Palmer on 3rd and 9. The pass is caught by Reese, but Major Wright able to make the tackle. Remember, Chicago had no timeout, so the Raiders will let the clock run down and then punt.
This is a good play by Major Wright because he's beat. He's outflanked pretty quickly right here. Gets out, makes the sure tackle. Look at all that space. If he doesn't make that tackle, Marcel Reese is going to turn that upfield, get the 1st down. And
you don't want to punt it to that guy, right? Is that what you were going to say, Moose?
You know what? It's been fun all day to watch what they've done. You know, they've kicked to him a couple of times and challenged their coverage unit, and the coverage unit has responded and done a good job. He's directionally kicked inside the 5-yard line, and then he had that one where he just kicked it over his head when he boomed the 80-yarder.
They're just going to take the 5-yard penalty.
That's right, Goose. Raiders out of timeouts.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
With Shane Leckler back there, it really doesn't matter 5 yards.
You might have to take another one.
You could have charged him 15, you still would have been all right.
He boomed an 80-yarder into the end zone earlier with a net of 60. That was a new franchise record. So now Leckler will punt it away. Hester only 7 yards on 2 punt returns so far today. Bears will get the ball back with no timeouts remaining, trailing by 5. High snap. Good job by Leckler to get the punt away. And it rolls. Will it stay out of the end zone? Yes. Brian McCann sprinting downfield to keep the football from rolling into the end zone.
And the decision here is just make sure you get it out. The one thing you cannot have is a blocked punt, so there's no style points here. Just get this kick out. A little bit of a high snap, sets it, kicks, and then the outcome is outstanding.
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable.
The game within the game, all the little things that you battle against and try to have a plan for. One of the biggest challenges for the Raiders was how do we handle Devin Hester? And they have done an outstanding job, and the big reason is Shane Leckler. He's been excellent today punting the ball.
51-yard punt, perfect placement, and then McCann downfield to knock it out of bounds. So the Bears, who went 84 yards on their last drive, must go 96 in 61 seconds with no timeouts. Our quarterback making his first career start. Haney on 1st down, complete out to the 11-yard line. Gain of 7, Sam Hurd.
The Raiders will give him that all day long, a 5-yard completion. And this drive, there's just not enough time.
Second down and 3. Haney fires. Roy Williams makes the catch. Williams tackled at the 34. As we approach a half minute remaining, Haney wants to clock it. He will spike it to stop the clock with 27 seconds remaining in quarter number 4.
Second and 10 on route number 34.
You got to be impressed with Caleb Haney. I mean, he had a tough start in the first half. He's hung in there. He's put his team in a position with an opportunity to win.
From the 34 on second down. Haney's pass incomplete. He was looking for Earl Bennett.
Got about 3 more opportunities to get some shots down the field here with 23 seconds left.
Third down and 10 coming up. Keep in mind the spike on first down to stop the clock, so it's now third down and 10. From the 34-yard line, 23 seconds remaining. Haney moving to his right. Pass is caught by Forte, tries to get out of bounds, he cannot. Time winding down. Haney wants to spike it once again. It's looked like the fake spike Dan Marino play for a moment, and now a flag is thrown.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Lost it down. 10-second runoff at the end of the game.
So a 10-second runoff, intentional grounding penalty because Haney did not spike it immediately. Took a couple of steps back, tried the fake, then spiked it, and is called for intentional grounding. 10-second runoff. The ball game is over. What an ending.
Unbelievable.
Raiders win it 25-20. We'll return to Oakland right after these messages.